My mother. My mother was a labor organizer for AFSCME. So I grew up with this. I mean, for a long time, I thought I worked for the union. I'd knock on doors, I folded papers, I did everything. I made phone calls. I went with my mother on organizing trips. So it's a big part of my life. And I would not be sitting here today if my mother didn't work for a labor union or wasn't in a union. She started out as a steward at her job. You know, I come from people that are humble people. We're not wealthy people. I'm the first college graduate in my family. If we had not had the security of a union, I would not be sitting in this chair across from you today. It just reminds me of why I'm here. I'm not here to do work for myself. I represent people. I represent 700,000 people. And every day I carry their expectations, their desires, and their voice. And I just remind myself of that every day because I think that is why I'm here, is to do their work. Well, I've got some of the best people in the world. In my district, I have a very diverse district. I have from the very wealthy to the very poor, to large minority district, large Jewish population, a growing Asian population. I have a very diverse district that do great work. I represent some of the best healthcare in the world. I sit in a great location, the best location in the nation. So it's a great place to be. Well, I think that it really isn't going to happen unless we start putting the right people in office. We have a state legislature right now that does not understand what economic development is, that doesn't understand why it's important to train people for jobs, doesn't understand how we work with others to make sure that we can have private-public partnerships, does not support paying a prevailing wage or having union work. So I think that it's important as to how we create jobs by who we put in office. I think people don't realize how important voting is. And it's important because it's the people you put in office, just like I talk about doing the people's work, all of us need to be held accountable for doing the people's work, and I think so many of us don't. There's no question about it. I mean, I'm sitting here today looking at a national election for the presidency of the United States, and I'm asking myself about my labor friends. I have a 100% labor voting record. I'm proud of that. But what I wonder is why we are losing labor people to someone like a Donald Trump. He doesn't support a higher wage. He doesn't support pension and benefits. He doesn't support better working conditions. So why are we losing labor? We have to make sure that the people we fight for are fighting for us. This is one thing I tell young people, especially when they ask me why I vote. I say to them, no one ever wants to take something from you that has no value. And so they want to take from you the one thing that has the most value, and that is your voice, because your vote is your voice. I think it's important for people to understand that voting affects every single thing in our lives. The type of schools we go to, the quality of the food we eat, the quality of the air we breathe, who makes decisions about our children's care. All of that is determined by politics and voting. So when we make clear to people why it's important, I think people vote in larger numbers. But what we do is we wait until it is urgent in a presidential and we say, oh, everybody come out and vote. But if they have not made a practice of doing it or understanding why it makes a difference, then we lose them before we begin. So it's important to us, especially as labor, because trust me, people like me are really hated by the other side. Labor is number 2. They hate you as much as they hate us. If they could do away with labor, they would be happy. That would solve all their problems because labor truly is the biggest supporter I have. So why not try to do away with the people who help me? So I think labor doesn't realize sometimes how important it really is. Labor is my go-to for almost everything. No, it's really true because labor gets it. When a lot of people don't, labor people understand. My mother, even now, at 85 years old, she calls me this morning. She says, you know, when SEIU called you about this, did you ever think about this? This is my mother's 85. She still gets it. So does my whole family because she talks about it all the time. But labor has a network that none of us have. Just as you said, you can put people on the streets. You can do phone banking. You can do literature drops for us. I mean, literature is a huge thing. You've got the legs and the feet to do it, where we don't. So labor is always a strong supporter of what is right. We just need for all of the people that are around us to understand labor is the lead and let's follow the leader.